Are you among the millions of South African families waking up every morning worried about whether the full amount of your grant from South Africa's Social Security Agency, SASSA, will land on time to keep the roof over your head and food on the table? Maybe you depend on the old age grant for your pensioners, or a disability grant for a family member, or the children's grant for your grandchildren. Can you imagine starting the year without certainty? That's worrying anyone. Well, we have good news. SASSA has published the official payment schedule for January 2026. On your calendar, older persons grants go out on 6 January 2026, disability grants on 7th January 2026, and children's and other related grants on 8th January 2026. But pause for a moment. What if you don't see that amount show up? What if it's less than expected? Sadly, that sometimes happens, and later in this video, we will also explain something many people don't know about: potential multiple payouts or back payments. Not a bonus from nowhere, but money you were owed in past months. So stay tuned till the end. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you do not miss important information about SASSA dates and payments. We will walk you through every detail so that you can rest easy. We know many older South Africans watching this video have one question burning in their hearts right now. Will the January money really come on the exact dates, or will there be delays like before? And that question is completely understandable. January is already a heavy month. School requirements, food costs, transport, medical needs, everything hits at once. Now, SASSA has officially confirmed the date structure for January 2026, and every message from the agency has emphasized that the payout process is expected to follow its normal order, starting on the 6th of January 2026. And yes, that includes older persons, disability, and children's grants. If you rely on the old age grant, that will be first, as usual. But here's something important that many South Africans overlook. Your amount should not be less than the new updated figure, which was announced last year and carried into 2026. And if you ever notice irregular deductions on your account, SASSA has already warned that such deductions are unlawful and must be reported immediately. Just a quick reminder, if you're new here, kindly subscribe because we break down every SASSA update in a simple, respectful, and reliable way. But instead of receiving a lower amount, the amount can be higher than expected. When this happens, should you celebrate immediately? We'll explain, but not yet. Before we touch the actual amounts, let's address something emotional and honestly very real, especially for families depending on these grants. Many grandparents are not just pensioners today, they are the full-time parents of their grandchildren. The SASSA grant is often the only steady financial support holding an entire household together. And starting a new year without clarity can feel frightening. So imagine opening your bank app on the 6th, 7th, or 8th of January and suddenly seeing less than you expected. What would run through your mind? Did someone deduct money? Did SASSA reduce your grant? Or did something go wrong with the banking system? These questions are not silly. They are the everyday reality for thousands. This is why SASSA keeps stressing that beneficiaries must always check their official payment notifications and protect their payment cards from unauthorized deductions. If anything drops lower than the updated grant amounts, that should immediately raise alarm. And here is where things start to get interesting. Sometimes the amount doesn't only come lower, sometimes it comes slightly higher, and that has caused many rumors around the country. Before we go deep into amounts, ask yourself this. Why is the amount higher this month? Do you truly know why? Stay with us because soon we're going to open that conversation. But not yet. Now that we've settled the dates, Let's gently step into the question everyone is secretly thinking about. How much exactly am I supposed to receive in January? But before we list anything, please listen closely, because the reason these new figures matter is bigger than just a few rands. From this point, every household budget starts to kick in. School shoes, stationery, taxi money, and the rising food prices that never seem to rest. So knowing the exact amount helps you plan January without fear or surprises. Here are the current official amounts South Africans should expect. Old Age Grant, 2,320 Rand. Old Age 75 plus, 2,340 Rand. Disability Grant, 2,320 Rand. Care Dependency Grant, 2,320 Rand. War Veterans, 2,340 Rand. Children's and other related grants also remain applicable on the 8th. If anything comes less than these figures, SASSA has repeatedly warned that unlawful deductions must be reported immediately. But here's the thing. Some people last year reported receiving more than these figures in certain months, and that's where rumors started everywhere. And we will talk about that soon. Many people watching are above 45, maybe even retired, caring for younger ones, or navigating disability challenges. And you might have experienced months where SASSA pays you slightly more or slightly less, but almost nobody knows why. We want you to imagine something simple. You walked to the ATM in January, entered your PIN, withdrew your money, and suddenly the balance shows more than you expected. Most people smile and walk away. But a few months later, when a lower amount arrives, panic begins. So listen carefully. SASSA has a system where sometimes money from previous months unpaid appears together later. This is called a back payment, not a bonus. It is not a bonus and not a random double payment. If SASSA owes you an amount from a previous month for any reason, it may occasionally appear together with your current payout. Now, don't jump yet. We're not fully unpacking this part until later. But just keep that seed in your mind. Some months are catching up for other months. Respectfully addressing every grandmother, grandfather, single parent, disability caregiver, or guardian watching, this next part is personal. January seems to be the month that pushes families the hardest. School uniform, electricity units, food, everything starts at once. So understanding your SASSA grant in detail isn't just financial, it's emotional, it's survival. And because resources are tight, it hurts deeply when funds suddenly drop or your payment isn't what you expected. Many families even burrow through December, hoping January will fix it. If your payment in January is lower than the numbers we have listed, Old Age Grant 2,320 Rand or 2,340 Rand for over 75, SASSA has made it clear, please report it. It could be unlawful deductions or banking errors. But if the amount is higher, many people celebrate before understanding what's really happening. And honestly, that's where confusion grows. So here is the question we need you to think about for later. If SASSA pays you extra now, does that mean you might receive less later? Or is it truly extra money? We'll answer that very clearly, but only toward the end, so stay with us. Before we finally break open the topic of multiple payouts, let's talk about something every SASSA household has experienced at least once: uncertainty. You wake up early, you stand in the queue, or you check your balance more than once, hoping the amount reflects soon. And let's be honest, sometimes the process feels confusing, especially when the money arrives earlier or later, or the balance looks different. Now, SASSA has reassured South Africans many times that monthly payment dates are structured to protect all the persons first, then disability, and then children. That order is consistent. but the amount itself can feel unpredictable when backdated payments are involved. And this brings us to a very important fact. When a previous month payment didn't go through, maybe due to verification delays, bank issues, or a change of details, that money doesn't disappear. It stays attached to your name and can later reflect together with your next monthly grant. Some people reported waking up and seeing 2 months together, but most of them didn't know why, and that caused rumors. Stay right here, because the reason behind those surprise deposits is exactly what we're building up to.
Let's bring in a real-life scenario many South Africans have written about. A grandmother from the Eastern Cape said she received her pension plus an additional amount she didn't expect. At first, she believed government had increased the money again, but 2 months later, her balance shifted back to normal. Another case. A father receiving a Care Dependency Grant went almost 1 full month without receiving anything, then suddenly received a higher amount the following month. He didn't know it was the missing previous payment catching up with him. Both situations sound different, but they point to one thing: backpay. Money from the past that finally arrives. Now, please remember something critical here. If your January amount comes higher, do not just celebrate and assume it's free extra money. Understand why it came, because this prevents confusion later. And before I reveal exactly how and when back payments are triggered, let me ask you a serious question. What would happen in your household if January brought you more money? Would knowing the real reason behind it help you manage February better? That's why staying informed matters. We are slowly getting to the part that everyone needs to hear, because by now you've understood the dates, the amounts, and why numbers sometimes look different. So let's bring everything together in a simple sentence. Multiple payouts during 1 month usually mean SASSA is paying you for a previous unpaid month. But here's where many people misunderstand it. This is not a gift, not a bonus, not a surprise increase. It's money that was always yours, just delayed. This can happen when bank verification was pending, new card activation took longer, system updates affected your payment cycle, personal details were updated, or past payment errors were corrected. However, don't jump yet, because there's a second piece. Sometimes SASSA might pay back more than 1 missed month at once. That's what creates the appearance of double payments. Before we fully open this part, listen carefully. If your January amount is higher than 2,320 or 2,340 rand, depending on your category, note the difference and check your previous month's payment record. Now you're ready for what comes next. Now that we finally understand that multiple payouts come mostly from backpay, let's talk about something extremely important. What should you actually do when that money appears? First, please don't rush and spend as if it's a sudden increase. Remember, it might be replacing a month you didn't receive. Meaning, if you received January plus a previous payment, that previous payment was already meant for your December or another month. Here's what SASSA always advises. Keep track of every monthly amount. Write down what you received this month. Confirm if you missed anything previously, and check your payment history on your bank statement. This helps you know if the extra amount is actually backpay. Because the worst thing is spending everything and then facing a lower February balance without understanding why. So whenever you see a higher amount, say to yourself, this could be money from a previous month finally coming through. And now ask yourself, If you ever went unpaid for a month, wouldn't you want that money to return? Exactly. This is a system designed to bring what belongs to you back to you. So how does a person actually know whether their higher payment is backpay? Here's a simple method any beneficiary can follow. Step 1. Look at your last 3 months' payments. Step 2. Check if any month was lower or missing. Step 3. Compare your January amount with the standard amount, 2,320 or 2,340 Rand, depending on your category. Step 4. If January shows more, that extra is likely covering those missing amounts. It's not a bonus, it's your rightful money. Now, there's something else I want to say, especially to those over 45 watching this. You have carried families, raised children, supported grandchildren, and survived some of the hardest economic times. You deserve clarity, not confusion. You deserve respect, not uncertainty. And that's why videos like this matter. It's not about shocking news, it's about understanding your money so you can plan, budget, and protect your household. Before our final scene, if this video has helped you, please consider subscribing. You'll always get updates first without confusion or rumors, just clear guidance that respects your dignity as a citizen and a parent or grandparent. So here's our final truth stated as simply as possible. SASSA January 2026 payment dates are confirmed. Older persons, 6th January. Disability, 7th January. Children's, 8th January. The amounts remain. Old age, 2,320 Rand. Old age 75, 2,340 Rand. Disability, 2,320 Rand. Care Dependency, 2,320 Rand. And War Veterans, 2,340 Rand. Now, if your payment comes higher, understand that you might be receiving a previous month's unpaid amount. That's called backpay, not extra cash. If your payment comes lower, that could be unlawful deductions. Please report immediately. So as you start this new year, may you step forward with confidence, knowing exactly what belongs to you and how to make your January stretch for your family's needs. Remember this message. Every household deserves clarity. Every beneficiary deserves dignity. If you found this useful, kindly subscribe, like, and share so another South African family can start their year with understanding, not fear. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed, stay informed, and keep protecting what rightfully belongs to your family. Till next time, bye.